Very good. All right. 12.4 perimeter and circumference. All right, perimeter and circumference. Okay, basically, these are the same. Perimeter is the distance around a polygon Therefore, add these sides to get perimeter. So it's distance, perimeter is the distance around a polygon. All you have to do is add up the sides to get the perimeter. Circumference is distance around a circle. There's a lot more to that. So both of them, perimeter and circumference, we're talking about the distance around an object or a thing. Okay? Area is everything on the inside. Again, perimeter and circumference is the distance around these things. Okay? One is polygon. This is easy. You just add up all the sides. Circle, a little bit different. Circle is a set of points. Taylor, you're supposed to be taking notes. If you can't see it, you can move up. That are equal distance from a set point. And what they're talking about is the center. And when y'all get that written, we're going to talk about that because that's kind of weird when you think about it. It's a set of points that are equal distant from the center. Set of points. When you think of a circle, you don't really think of it as a set of points. By the way, on Thursday when we go to Smoothie King, you can wear jeans and spirit shirt. So, all right. What they're referring to here is, and I know this isn't going to look perfect. Let's say I have, it's a circle is like a million little dots, set of points. All equal distant, like from the center. Something like that looks like an eyeball. So a circle is a set of points. There's a million little points so close together that it looks like a straight line. But it's equal distant from the center point. And that's a terrible circle. That's what that means. All right, chord. See, we're learning all the different parts of the circle. And you need to know this. It's a line segment with both endpoints on a circle. And you need to know that a diameter, which we're about to talk about, is a chord. So chord is a line segment with both endpoints on a circle. And I'm going to give you some examples on that. If this is the center, a chord can be like that. A chord could also be a diameter. A diameter goes straight through the center. That's a chord. That's a chord. So anyway, there's some examples of chords. Chords can go through the center, but they don't have to. Okay? But they have to touch the ends of both ends have to touch the circle itself. Does that make sense?
All of these are a chord.
All these are chords.
Is the actual little line in the circle itself the chord or the whole
Yeah.
thing?
No. The chord is the actual line.
Wait, then why is there an arrow from diameter?
Because I just said a diameter is a chord. This is a diameter.
Oh, so it's the same thing.
Well, a diameter is a chord, but a chord isn't always a diameter. Diameter. And we're going to call it D because you need to know that. It's a chord passing through the center of a circle. So a diameter, let me rephrase it. A diameter is always a chord because it always goes through the center and the endpoints touch the circle. But a chord doesn't always have to be a diameter. It doesn't have to go through the center. So all these are chords, only this is a diameter. I'm going to draw another arrow. This is your diameter. Goes through the center. If it doesn't go through the center, it is not a diameter. Then you have your radius. We're going to call it R. It is a line segment from the center of the circle to a point on the circle. So for example, this would be your radius. So diameter goes all the way through from one end of the circle to the other end. Radius is half of that. So radius is half of the diameter. In fact, I'm going to write that. Radius is half the diameter. You absolutely need to know all of these different things. You need to know what a chord is. You need to know what a diameter is. You need to know what a radius is. Okay? You need to know those. Again, for this chapter, I did not assign IXLs. When I assign IXLs, my students do better. This chapter, I did not. It is on you to go to my proto page and go to those links in the box for chapter 12 and practice these things. Okay? If you want to do well on the test, you probably should go to all those. You have it?
Yes, I'm just reading the arrows because I'm in this room.
All right. Okay. So perimeter is pretty easy, right? You just add up all the sides and go about your way. Circumference is a little different. Finding circumference.
Use pi.
We are going to be using pi. And we're going to call it C. So when they refer to C, they're talking about circumference. D is diameter. R is your radius. Here is your formula. There's two different ones, but they're the same thing. So when I write them, you're going to need to sit there and think about what it's saying. They're not two completely different formulas. One is C equals pi times D, or C equals 2 pi r.
Which one's easier?
That doesn't matter. I'll explain. This one and this one are the same. The only difference is we have diameter and radius. Well, and of course the 2. But if you think about it, radius is half the diameter. So how many radii, it's, bless you, radii is plural, like 2 radiuses, okay? How many radiuses do you need to equal 1 diameter, Cecilia? 2. Michaela, do you understand that?
How many guess?
Do you understand that?
Yes, a radius is half of the diameter.
That's right, because a radius is only halfway through the circle. Diameter is all the way through the circle. Do you see that?
Why did anybody even invent pi?
Okay, shh, that's not an appropriate question. So, sometimes they're going to give you the diameter. In that case, you can use this. Sometimes they're going to give you the radius. And that, when you get that, then you just use this formula. There's a 2 there because there's 2 radii or radiuses to equal 1 diameter. Do y'all see that it's the same formula then?
I have a question. Can you do pi times 2 or 2, like pi times?
Oh yeah, they're all being multiplied, so it doesn't matter what order. In fact, pi, because of the way it is, I would do pi times 2 times r, probably. But anyway, it doesn't matter what order, because it's all being multiplied. So if they gave, you could use either one. If they gave you the radius, you could still use this. You just need to double the radius. You see what I'm saying? So you got to know it's either, to find the circumference, it's either pi times the diameter, or if they gave you the radius, it's 2 times pi times the radius. Okay, you need to know that pi that you'll be using is about 3.14. You need to know that. Like, you need to have that memorized. Pi is 3.14. It's a lot more numbers, but this is, rounded to the nearest hundreds, and it's the one that everyone uses.
What happened if you use 3.14159?
If you use, pi goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it's like.
Okay, so if you use a calculator that has the pi button, then your answer is going to be real close to the answer if you do 3.14. They may not always be identical, but they'll be close enough. In fact, the book will even give both because, they don't know if kids are using calculators or not, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so let's do some examples. Let's say here's a circle, and they gave us a radius of 3. That's a 3, by the way. So what's the radius, Emily? What's the diameter? Perfect. Do y'all see that? The diameter is not there, but we know it's 6 because diameter is 2 radii together. So if you know one part of it, then you'll know the other part. Very good. So in this case, you could use either formula because even though they just gave you the radius, you know what the diameter is. So you could either do this one, or you could do this one. So I'm going to show you both. We're going to work both out. And so are you. So in this case, I have C times 3.14 times 6 for the diameter, right? Y'all see that? And here I have C times 2 times 3.14 times 3.
We use calculator.
Yep. So in this case, I'm going to be nice and just, for the sake of time, give you the answers.
18.84.
That's right. Or so there you go. There's your answer. Make sure if you use the pi key, if you have your graphing calculator and it has pi key, make sure you round to the nearest hundredths place. Okay? And you better do it accurately or I will count off. Any questions? No questions? Yes, ma'am.
Whenever we do our homework, we could use any of the formulas.
That's right. Okay, so this is for the sake of notes. I want to show you that you can use either formula to get the same answer, given no matter what you're given. But on your homework, you don't have to do both. You just choose one and go with that, okay? Good question. All right, let's do another exam. I'm not going to work anymore out because I think you got it. But just for the sake of making sure everyone has it, let's say I have a radius of 5. Michael, what would the diameter be? Very good. What if I have, here's the center. What if I say the diameter for this is 3? Michaela, do you know what the radius would be?
1.5.
Perfect. 1.5. Y'all see that? If the diameter is 3, then half of 3 is 1.5. This is 1.5 and this is 1.5. So, yes, we're going to be dealing with decimals and such. Because you're big kids now.
Or do we want to?
All right. I have a warning for you. And it gets my students every year, which is why I have this here. Warning. Be sure to pay close attention to whether they are giving you diameter or radius. I have students that are trying to get through their homework so they don't pay attention. They'll give them the radius and they'll do the formula for diameter. Or they'll give them diameter and they'll do the formula for radius because they're just in a hurry not paying attention. So make sure, that's my warning, and you better have this written down. My warning is to make sure you pay very close attention. Attention to detail. And then open your books to page 510. Ready, 510, 511. Looking, make sure everyone's opened up to page 510, 511. Everyone there? All right. Okay, the first section is true or false. So number 2, Aiden. A radius is twice the length of a diameter.
False, it's half.
That's correct. Very good. So number 2 is false, and Aiden says because it's half. 4, Taylor. All chords of a circle are of equal length.
False,
Why?
because they can be in different places and the circle will always be.
That's right. I like what you said. Different places. For example, it could be right here. It could be going straight through. It could be going across down here. It could be going anywhere. So they are not equal length. Good job. Do I have it down? All right, number 6. It says find the circumference of the following circles, round answers to the nearest hundredth place. So for number 6, they gave us the diameter of 18 inches. So Michael, what is the formula to find circumference?
C equals pi times d, or
Well, which one are you using?
that one.
Okay. All right, so Michael taught me through it. What am I doing?
You multiply 18 times 3.14.
Okay, so pi is 3.14 times diameter, which is 18. Michael, you want to do that for us?
As a calculator. 56.52.
And I have my label of inches. Very good.
I've got 56.54.
Did you do 3.14 times 18?
I did 18 times pi, which got 56.54866776.
Okay, well, I mean, it's close.
Did you look at
He, even if he did round, he got 4 instead of 2. Yes, ma'am?
If we didn't label inches on our homework, would you take that?
I probably will take off because labeling is very important. So y'all need to make sure you label. If there's a label, you need a label. All right. Number 8. Width. It says find the diameter and radius of circles with the given circumference. Round answers to the nearest tenth. So this is weird. We're going the opposite direction. They gave us circumference, but we've got to find the diameter and the radius. So they said circumference is 40 feet.
Wait, never mind.
So the circumference is 40 feet. So my suggestion is to start with the formula to find diameter. What would that be with?
C equals pi times diameter.
Okay. So what we do in this case, and y'all all copying this down. I better find this in your spirals. All you do is you plug in the information. Do we know what the circumference is?
Yes, ma'am, 40 feet.
Do we know what pi is?
3.14.
Do we know what diameter is?
We do not.
So I'm going to leave that as times d. So width, we got to solve for d. We're doing a intruder alert. So what would I do?
You would divide 3.14
On
by 40 or
on both sides. Because we are multiplying 3.14 times d. These cancel out. And what did you get?
12.8.
Are you sure?
12.73. Wait, 12.74. No, okay. 12.7.
Okay. That's fine.
12.74.
Well, which is it? Are you trying to round?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see what you got.
I got 12.73888535. So I rounded the 3 up to 4 because 8 is right.
And it says, now, and here did it say, it says round to the nearest tenth.
Oh, that's what you have to do.
So we're at the 10th, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So then we're good. So this equals diameter, right? And I forgot my label. There we go. But we got to find radius. How do we find radius?
Couldn't you just divide that in half?
That's right. Divide it by 2 equals your radius.
12.7 is inches.
No, feet.
Oh, okay.
That's an FT, sorry.
No, it's okay.
And
I got 6.35.
and it says to round to the nearest.
6.4.
Uh-huh. There you go. Good job.
Thank
Y'all have questions about how he did that? All right, let's do 10. Emily, you have a calculator? Go get one. 10 gave us the circumference of 23.5 feet. So how do I find first diameter and then radius? We just did a problem. So if they gave us a circumference, how do we find diameter? That's right. So she said we're going to use this formula here. C equals pi times D. Good job. Now we plug in our information. So what do I put here for C? That's right, 23.5 feet. I got to remember my label. Equals, do we know what pi is? And then times D. We don't know what D is. So then what do I do to solve for D? Divide what? Why? Okay, but why am I dividing? No. Bingo, that's what I'm looking for. Because we're multiplying here, we got to do the opposite. So we're going to divide both sides by 3.14. Good job. Be confident. You know your stuff. Okay, so Emily, go ahead and do your division. And by the way, those of you with graphing calculators, if you do not show, listen, Taylor, if you do not show all your work, your problem will be marked wrong. Got it? You must show all work. Okay, so what'd you get? Okay, someone already have it? Gabby? Okay, 7. So it was 7.48 equals diameter, but Gabby followed directions, and you would round it to what, Emily? Which would be? That's right, 7.5 feet. That's right. There's our diameter. Now, Emily, how do I find my radius? That's right. We're going to divide it by 2. And again, all of you, even with calculators, will show all your work or it's wrong. And what do you get, Gabby? You can say it and Emily will round it. 3.75 and Emily? That's right, 3.8 feet. So our radius is 3.8 feet. Any questions? So we've now done a problem where you had to find the circumference, and then we've done 2 problems where they gave the circumference, but you had to find the diameter and the radius. Good job. Any questions before I move on?
Why is there? Oh wait, never mind.
Okay.
There's a 2 under the 7.5 because radius is 2 of the
That's right. Because we're dividing it in half. That's right. Good job. You got it? Joanne, you got it? All right. Let's look at number 12. It says find the perimeter of the following polygons. So number 12 says a pentagon with two sides of 8.5 inches, two sides of 12 inches, and one side of 17 inches. So how many sides does a pentagon have, Michaela? Y'all gonna need to know this for the test, by the way.
Pentagon? 5.
Thank you, Michaela. We don't yell stuff out. Y'all know that. So when we do perimeter, we are going to add all sides together. Now in this case, they gave us the measurements. It says two sides of 8.5 inches, two sides of 12 inches, and one side of 17 inches. So there's my 5 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to add those together. You have a calculator? Okay. Michael, what did you get?
Wasn't that finished?
58 inches. And if you're doing this by hand, make sure that you do 12.0 because that's a whole number. If you didn't do that, then, you know, you might get a bad answer. Any questions? All right, how about 14? 14 says a regular octagon. That means all sides are equal. So Cecilia, how many sides is an octagon? Again, y'all need to know this for the test. So again, IXL, I have one on there that can help you with that. But there will be questions like this, and you will have to know how many sides these things are.
8.
8, that's right. There are 8 sides. Now they said it's a regular polygon. That means all sides are equal. They told you one side is 12.4. So Cecilia, how do I get the perimeter if they gave me one side? They gave me one side. It says an octagon, regular octagon with sides of 12.5. How do I find the perimeter? If they gave me one side, that's 12.4. There you go. You can multiply it by 8 because there's 8 sides. And raise your hand when y'all get that answer. Aiden.
98.4.
Don't know about that. Taylor?
99.2.
Yes. You could add this up 8 times. 12.4 plus 12.4 plus 12.4 plus 12.4, right? Or you can just multiply it by 8. Does everyone understand why? Okay. Let's now look at 16. Okay, let's see. I need Joanne to read the directions.
Find the perimeter of the following figures.
Alright, so 16. You see 16. Perimeter is the sides all the way around. Do you see that little 3 there? Do you see that 3? Joanne, do we even need to know that? Is that important information or is that useless information when looking for the perimeter? Who can help her out? Whit?
You don't need it
Why don't you need it?
because it's not on the perimeter of the shape.
That's right. It is not on the perimeter of the shape. Perimeter, boys and girls, are the sides of the shape. That right there, that's useless information. They're trying to trick you. So don't be fooled. Perimeter again. Joanne, are you looking up here? Perimeter are the sides of the actual shape. So they tried to trick you, and it worked. They tricked y'all, or some of you. So be very careful when they throw useless information. So, Joanne, if we're looking for the perimeter, what do we need to do? Do you know?
We'll add up the side.
Okay, so we're going to add up the sides, right? All 4 of these sides, correct? Oh, but Joanne, there's no measurement here. They gave us a measurement here and here, but nothing here and here. So what do I do? Do I just forget about those and add these 2? What do I do? If perimeter is adding up all the sides, what do I do about these 2 here? Do you know?
I guess
What? Do we know the measurement of this side? Do we?
I think it might be the same 12.
Yes. Say what's on your mind, girl. You're right. It is the same. And you know why? They're parallel. So this side is the same as this side. You're correct. What about this side? Is it going to be 12?
No, 29.
That's right. See, you knew it. You just weren't going to say it. Say what's on your mind. Be confident. All right. So now we know all 4 sides. What do we do, Joanne? We're going to do what to all 4? Add them all up. So if you add them all up, raise your hand. You got it? Whit?
82.
82. For the sake of time, we're just going to go ahead and do it. So you add them all up. 12 plus 12 plus 29 plus 29 gives us 82. Good job. Any questions?
Can you set us free?
Nope. Look at 20.
Yeah, my favorite one.
Whoa, what in the world?
They gave us this measurement. And then, now y'all better pay attention to this. Y'all better pay attention to this. Seriously. Because you're going to have problems like this, so you better be paying attention. All right. So, Aiden. This is kind of weird. You got to find the perimeter. So, what sides are we looking for?
Um,
What are we adding up?
all 4 sides.
That's right. We need to add up this side, are y'all all looking? Y'all better be looking, because I'm not going to explain this a million times because of time. This side, but we also have to add in this little side and this little side. So we got to figure those out. So Aiden, first of all, there's no measurement here, but what can we assume it to be?
40.
Why?
Because it's parallel.
That's right. These two lines are parallel, so this is 40, that's 40. Do we understand that? And are you with me? Okay, now they have this little dotted line saying 15. Are they saying that this side is 15?
No, it's the radius.
That's right. This is the radius of an imaginary circle. So pretend that this is a circle right here.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's the radius. This is part of that circle. Do y'all all see that?
Oh.
This is all part of that circle. And this over here is going to be another part of a circle. Same thing. So if we had the radius of 15, can we find the whole circumference?
30.
Hey, no one asked you.
Oh my god.
And that's not right.
Well, it'll be 30
Oh,
times
man.
pi.
Wait a minute. We got to find this side. How do I do that, Aiden? You got to find the circumference first, right?
Yeah.
So how do I do that?
Yeah, would it be, you would do 15 times 2 times pi.
Okay, so what's the formula?
Oh, sorry. Circumference equals pi times the radius. Or 2 times pi.
There's a formula. So then we have 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which is 15. And for the sake of time, we get 94.2. Now, that's for the whole circle, right?
Mhm.
How do I get just this part here, which is supposed to be like half of it?
94.2. We'll do it divided by 2.
That's right. Because we want just this half. And what do you get?
Uh, 47.1.
Okay. So this right here, this side right here is 47.1. So what is this side right here?
47.1.
47.1. So now what do we do now that we have all four of our sides?
Out of the other.
So I have 40 plus 40 plus 47.1 plus 47.1. And for the sake of time, you get 174.2. And they don't have any label. There's my perimeter. Are there any questions? No questions? Y'all think you got it? Okay. Then I'm setting you free. You are doing page 510 to 511. You're doing numbers. So we did the evens. I'm going to have you, let's see, 1, 2. One through 23 odd. That's 12 problems. It's due Wednesday. Remember, your test is April 22nd.
You said that we have to know.
I believe that. That's a Thursday.
these ones. You said that we have to know the Pentagon.